welcome back to the Nitty Gritty. We're your hosts. My name's Allicea.
And I'm Ash.
We are on the same side of the table today, but that's because we have a special surprise for you all.
So for this episode, we have a special guest to give us some insight into why the drivers are the way they are and to enlighten us about their birth charts and other astrology-related things. So if we can please welcome our special guest, my roommate, Mac.
Yay, Mac!
Buongiorno. Hello, everyone. How's it going?
Great. How are you?
Stellar. I'm ready to, the research has been done, the hours have been put in, and it's time to have some banter about what's going on.
I know absolutely nothing about astrology, so to have such a well-knowledge person such as yourself, Mac, on the show.
She was doing research in her books.
Yeah,
she was
I pulled
going
out the
analog.
With the dust.
Before we get into the astrology, we just want to acknowledge that we can see our very beautiful, gorgeous, wonderful technical director and sound engineer, Cass, over here.
Hi, Cass.
Everyone's
I would say hi, Cass. Cass
Big
is here
reveal.
with us every single episode, working her magic. This is the first time you guys get to see her, so there she is.
All right, so let's get into the astrology. So who do you want to start off with, Mac? Who do you want to...
I think we should maybe start with what astrology is, just because if we give you these tools now, we'll be able to better apply them to the drivers. So, astrology, I think most people when they think of astrology, they think mainly of like, oh, I'm gonna open a Cosmopolitan magazine and flip through it, and there's my sun sign, and this specific month it's gonna tell me everything that I need. But in reality, astrology is a lot more than that. It comes from a variety of different cultures. It goes back to actually forever ago. It was considered an academic discipline, believe it or not.
Oh my God.
Very
until
cool.
the 17th century. And then they said, nuh-uh. But yeah, the astrology I'm going to talk about today, it's Western astrology. There's like a bunch of different astrologies just from different cultures. There's Vedic astrology, Chinese astrology, Tibetan astrology, etc. But Western is like at least the most familiar in the western parts of the world, which is where we are.
She pulled out the history books.
I know.
The 17th century.
I already learned so much and we just started. Like, damn.
So, basically, oh my gosh, how do you get into this? So, astrology is not just the sign that everyone thinks that they are, which they are, is the one that changes every 12 months. There's 12 signs in astrology, and that would be your sun sign. But what a lot of people don't know is that you have a sign for like every single planet. So you have a moon sign, you have a Mercury sign, you have a Venus sign, you have a Mars sign, Jupiter sign, etc. And each planet takes a turn in a sign. So like, for example, the sun changes every month, but the moon changes every 2 to 3 days, and kind of stuff like that. Like Mercury's like every... I think Mercury's a month too, like a month and a half, something like that. But then some planets are in the signs for shorter months, some planets are in the signs for longer months. So just depending on when you're born, that is that. And then the last kind of thing that I think we should touch on is your rising sign, because that's your ascendant. It's not even a planet at all. Your ascendant is basically the sign that other people can best interpret you as. Oh. So, technically, if you go back, they say that your ascendant is where the sun was in the sky, like coming over the horizon at the time you were born. So, yeah, that's the moment your soul entered your body. And
So is that like when people ask you what your sign is, like that's... You're telling them you're rising.
You're telling them your sun sign.
Normally you tell them your sun sign.
Okay.
Because that's like, I'm a Capricorn.
Right.
You're a Virgo. I almost called you Josh.
That's your son? Okay.
Ash is an Aquarius. Cass is a Libra. But this is the one that's kind of easiest to guess because this is the one how you like outwardly present yourself.
Okay.
It's like your motivation for being here. It's like your quest on life. It shows you like... I don't know. It's just outwardly very obvious to other people. So that's why, like, if you kind of don't identify with your sun sign, or if you find out, you go, oh my God, she's a Virgo. Well, it's probably because she has a Pisces rising, and she don't look like a Virgo, because it also affects like physical attributes, like in yourself.
That's I didn't know that, so I didn't.
So you, for example, I believe you have a Leo rising. Yeah, you do.
You don't like Leos. Oh,
I don't like Leos because I haven't had the best experiences with them. We are sister signs, though. I'm an Aquarius rising, so we have sister sign risings.
You're basically sisters.
So then why do people tell you, like, their sun sign instead of their rising sign? If their rising sign is more like what they...
Well, I think, especially with TikTok and stuff, like, most people tell you, oh, what's your big three? Like, that's your sun sign, your moon sign, and your rising sign.
Right.
Just because that's, like, it's a good overview of a person. Not good enough, in my opinion. Like, you got to know so much more to kind of, like, really interpret somebody. But, yeah, rising sign should be more popularized. I vote for the motion.
Okay.
But yeah, so there's 12 signs in astrology. You know the one. Starts with Aries, ends with Pisces. And then also, one more thing I should mention before we talk about all the driver tea is that signs can also be in houses. So... Ash, if you want to show Allicea the diagram. It's perfect.
Oh, okay.
So,
thank you.
Your rising sign is your first house, so it's right on the left on that line there. And then all the signs in the order after your rising signs follow it to complete the whole house. Mm-hmm. And then each house kind of represents a different area in your life. So, the first house is associated with the sun. The sun is most comfortable in the first house because it can outwardly shine there. And it has to do with, appearance and outward personality because of your rising sign. Rising sign's always in the first house. Second house is Taurus. They're also associated with signs. It's not just planets. So it's, money, possessions, values, stuff like that. But yeah, so it matters which sign or planet is in which house because that's kind of where the energy is concentrated in your life. And yeah, that's kind of the rundown.
I think the best interpretation I've heard of this astrology in terms of houses and the sign and the planet is the actor, and the planet, like the sign that it's in, is a role it's playing. Ooh. And then the house that they're in is the scene they're in.
Oh.
That's
I
like the
write
best.
That down.
That's like the best way for me to remember is that, okay, so like Jupiter is about wealth, but what is it playing? Okay, it's in Leo. Mm-hmm. So it's like lucky abundance. And then it's in like the 10th house, which is career. So that's how I kind of do it in my brain.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
That's actually really good and smart, and I'm going to write that down.
That's very media production.
Oh my God. That is very media production, very production, very on set. Mm-hmm. Okay, so let's get into the drivers now. I'm really excited. I've gotten some sneak peeks because we live together.
I have no sneak peeks, and I heard the Max dissection is crazy. So
yeah, Mr. Verstappen is very.
It's the hesitation.
He's got some positive things and some negative things, and we'll discuss both. All right, so yeah, I guess we'll start with Max because he's the top of my sheet and
top of the charts too.
Top of the charts, exactly. It only follows. So our good friend Max Verstappen was born on September 30th, 1997.
It's the same day as my dad.
10 a.m. in somewhere called Hasselt, Belgium. So Max is a Libra sun. Max is a Virgo moon. Max is a Virgo Mercury, a Scorpio Venus, and a Sagittarius Mars. So, with his sun being Libra, especially Libra in the 10th house, says, I think, a lot about Max. Libra, the sign itself, is like a very sociable and likable sign. It's known as like the justice scale, so it kind of likes to see things and just situations in their life from every single angle that other people could not even see. But I think the fact that it's in the 10th house really makes this man conflicted because the 10th house is the house of career. It's like associated with Capricorn. I'll read it. It's career status, reputation, vocational purpose, and talking power. So this shows that Max, his sun sign, which is all about like his like drive and his ego and like his sense of self period is really related to the 10th house of career. So this man, when he needs to like hit a lot of his self-worth is because of Formula One. Like he needs to be stay winning races or else like
And in other words, Max said, if Max loses, he's going to be kicking and screaming.
Yeah, exactly. He's going to be on the floor, temper tantrum, breakdown, etc.
It's funny because you said his drive. And
His
Vroom.
Pun intended.
Yeah, so Max has a lot of, I think, at least like, probably a hard time separating his self-worth from his career.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
So it's good he stays winning because, you know,
when he starts losing.
when he has his Lewis moment, it's, sorry.
That was tea. Lewis lately.
Yeah, Lewis lately, as of recent years. Anyway, also he has a Virgo moon in the 10th house, so all of the moon is like your changing emotions and, you know, your physical body, but also like how people cared for you, like your caregivers.
Oh, whoa.
It can tell you like your stories and your past lineage. And
Whoa.
the moon kind of helps you understand like how to deal with difficult experiences and like give yourself give them a deeper appreciation in your life. But so his Virgo moon's in the 10th house, another career.
It's connecting the dots because his dad.
That's what I mean. First of all, as someone has a Virgo moon, I understand Max's struggle.
Yeah.
I don't know. Mine's in a different house though, but Virgo moon is probably maybe I'm being like getting ahead of myself, but I feel like Virgo moon is one of the hardest placements to have. I don't know. Personally, I feel like it's the most difficult placement.
Very anxiety.
Exactly. Because I feel like Virgo's very like critical and like logical, but when it comes to emotions and your own emotions, I feel like it's kind of like a battle. But that makes sense that it's in his 10th house because I don't know. I feel like it makes sense with his dad for some reason.
Like when you start, like the more you explained it, the more the gears start to turn in my head. I'm like, wait, this kind of makes sense. Jesus Christ.
So Virgo moon, even though Capricorn and Cancer, like the mommy and the daddy of the zodiac, I like to see Virgo moon as the like big sister. Like Virgos kind of get things done and take care of people. Like a lot of doctors become Virgos.
Women in STEM.
Yeah, women in STEM. But so his emotional state being tied like to his career state because his moon is in the 10th house, especially in Virgo. This man needs to win. In whatever career field he was in, since he's in racing, it's in racing, but, you know.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Anyway, then we could talk about his Venus is in Scorpio in the 12th house. The way I explained this to Ash last night was, you know when you go to bed and you like put your head on the pillow and then you start like imagining things like to help yourself fall asleep.
like your nightly scenario?
Like little like romantic, like, you know,
Scenario, your fantasies,
but
the episodes.
Max is so that because the 12th house itself is like it's ruled by Pisces, and the 12th house itself is very like transcendence, like dream realm, etc. And so when you put a Venus in there, which is like love and beauty and art and affection, he's very much a romantic man.
He's thinking about Kelly.
But low-key, Delulu. He is delusional. Is he thinking about Kelly?
That was my, yeah.
I don't know.
Also,
You think about Kelly, you think about the championship.
Yeah.
he's thinking about both. Max had this last night. She's like, one side of his head, he has a spiritual gun to his head.
Yeah.
The other side is Kelly Paquette kissing him goodnight on his forehead kiss.
And whispering sweet nothings.
Oh,
in his
God.
Ear. Yeah, he's crazy for that. But good on him, you know? A hopeless romantic.
He's a Scorpio rising, is what you said, right?
Yeah. Magnetic eyes, sharp features. He's
He-
a risk taker.
So true. First of all,
Yeah.
I feel like his facial, like, structure is so unique. And, like, in the most respectful way possible, Max, like, I mean this in, like, you look like a cute hammerhead shark.
I was
Like,
wondering
I'm
if you were
sorry.
gonna say it.
You look like it's just the facial structure, but like, I'm not saying he's not.
Hey, sharks are predators. He's
The
like,
dots are connecting
But
again.
that's weird because everyone's chasing him instead of him chasing
instead of him
someone.
chasing,
so
yeah.
Mm.
That's true.
weird.
That's true. Anyway, Sagittarius Mars in the first house. You know what's funny? I think a lot of athletes have Mars in the first house because Mars is like very much, how do you say? It's like action and assertion and passion. And astrology has a lot of ties to, you know, a lot of different mythologies. But when I think about specifically like Greek and Roman mythology, all of the Roman gods and goddesses, their Roman names are the names of the planets, right? So Mars is Aries to some people, and he was the god of war. So
So you either are gonna become an athlete or you're gonna become a soldier. Or you're gonna become both, like Logan Sargent.
yes, exactly.
Jesus.
I always think about how he would be Sergeant if he was.
A literal
Sergeant.
sergeant. Oh my goodness, yeah.
He would be.
It's like Taylor Swift and Taylor Lautner.
Hey, Taylor Lautner's wife's name is also Taylor Lautner.
They both took Lautner as their last name.
Isn't that crazy?
Love that.
They should have switched.
They should confuse everybody.
Yeah, that would have jazzed it up, wouldn't it?
All right, so his teammate is Sergio or Checo.
Yeah,
Perez.
Checo. Checo's got some issues too because his sun and moon are in Aquarius, which is like intellect. Everyone says Aquarius are robots. I tend to disagree. I feel like they're a pretty social sign. But both of them are also in the 10th house. So these two men are so career driven. Haha, driven. But it's a little bit spooky. And maybe that's why Red Bull stays low-key winning right now, because their team is... And wait till we talk about Christian Horner.
Oh, God. Do you think there's a reason why, like, Checo is kind of a little more laid back than Max, or, like, takes
the
He doesn't
From
mind taking the
astrology,
second
yeah,
driver
the second seat. Let me take a look. Checo does...
Not to put you on the spot or
No.
anything.
Do not worry. So Max is ruled by his... let me explain a ruling kind of planet in a chart. So whatever your ascendant is, there's a sign associated with that planet. So like Leo is most comfortable being in the sun because they share similar attributes, and Cancer is most comfortable being in the moon. And so when you're looking at your ascendant sign, your rising sign, you look at, okay, Max has a Scorpio rising. Well, where's Scorpio most comfortable? Either in Pluto or in Mars. And so we look at his Pluto and Mars, and that's kind of the energy that is very, very prominent in his chart. So with the Scorpio rising, he has a Sagittarius Mars in the first house. So that's what his Mars, he's got a Mars ruler. He's a very, very dominant, active, assertive person. Which is funny because, I don't know, he is, but also when I watch interviews of Max, he's like very like...
It's
like,
the Libra in him.
Yeah, the Libra's a real like masking force. But he's also got a Pluto in Sagittarius, and Sagittarius is a fiery sign. They want action. They want now. They want, you know what I mean? So...
I also guess, like, Checo, we don't know his rising, so that could very much be why he's, like, okay with the way he is in terms of their dynamic
Yeah.
astrologically. But
yeah, my guess he would be kind of he probably wouldn't be a fire rising Checo. He would probably be something a little bit more like not me first and more like, I don't know.
like a more feminine rising sign, maybe.
Yeah, I could see that.
His Venus is in Capricorn in the 10th house, which is interesting to me because 10th house is career, right?
Yeah, so...
And his Venus...
is in Capricorn. Listen.
Oh my gosh, don't say it.
Oh, okay, yeah, sorry, we were having a real...
I don't know
Say
how
it,
to
I wanna
I don't know
know
how to
editing
word
out
it.
later.
I don't know how to word it appropriately. But Max said you're
Checo?
Max now.
Yeah, apparently.
Max said that Checo is, for lack of better words, a bored in bed. And I don't mean when he's sleeping.
I don't think he's boring. Like, I'm a Capricorn. I get it. But I don't have a Capricorn Venus. But he definitely, especially because it's in the 10th house, like, when you are having intimate times with your significant other, are you thinking about driving a race car? Are you thinking about your coworkers? Are you thinking about
He's head empty, filled Max.
And this is why
I don't know.
infidelity is common with him.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Maybe.
Whoa. Whoop, whoop. It's the
Okay.
sound of the police.
Is there anything else you have to say about Checo specifically?
Nah. He's all right.
Let's move on to our team.
A Ferrari. E succo d'arancia.
Not the
Whoa.
orange juice.
That means orange juice. Okay. Let's start with Mr. What is it? Predestino? Is it his name?
Charles Mark Hervé.
Mr.
Percival Leclerc.
Whatever it is, that order.
I don't remember the Percival.
So, something that's really funny is that Charles and Max actually have a lot of similarities in their birth chart.
Ooh.
We'll start with. Okay. I wrote at the bottom, I was like, basically, Charles is the only one that puts up with Max because they're the same person.
This is like helping my Lestappen agenda.
Your what?
Lestappen.
Lestappen.
Leclerc Verstappen.
I was like,
I always think of like when Max is Max-splaining
yeah.
to Charles in the paddock, and I feel like the only person he can do it to that doesn't just walk away is Charles.
That makes sense.
What a sweetheart. All right. So Charles has a Libra sun in the 12th house. 12th house, as we've previously discussed, is dreamy, spiritual, whatever. So anyway, and Libra's like looking at both sides of the coin. So he comes off very like him and Max both have Libra suns, but Charles just is a lot more. I feel like Charles, we've talked about this. He's the people's princess.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's just
The PP.
yeah, exactly. He does have an Aries moon and a Libra Mercury, and then his Venus and Mars are in Sagittarius. So don't get me wrong, he's got all the fire. Like he's got 3 fire signs right there in his chart, but he comes off like when he speaks and his kind of actions and stuff are very much very more Libra energy than fire energy, like airy.
So charming as hell.
Yeah.
The Charles effect.
I think fire signs are charming, but they're a lot more intense. And Charles isn't really, like, at least birth chart wise. The Libra is not super intense, especially because it's in the 12th house. But he also has a Scorpio rising, just like Max Verstappen. So, what is that? Magnetic eyes. He don't look like a hammerhead shark.
He is
He
just
looks
like
a little
the
mouse.
what you'd expect from a Scorpio rising, like the really dark futures,
Yeah.
like mysterious looking. That's what I associate with Charles in terms of Scorpio rising.
Yeah, kind of like mysterious.
Does that mean he's attracted to
Nonchalant.
people similar to him? Because he goes for dark-haired,
I think
dark-featured.
more what you would find, like, in terms of attraction to other people is when you look at the Venus sign. And Sagittarius Venus,
That's me.
that's you.
Oh,
It's not really kind of like a physical thing, I think, in astrology. I don't know. He only dates, people that look like him. That's funny. I think that's a common occurrence in
generally.
society.
it's giving siblings or dating.
Siblings are dating.
Max and Kelly.
Ugh.
Also, I feel like he does have a similar chart to Max, but the biggest difference is like what house they're in.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's what makes him different from Max.
Yeah, because Max is so
Career
Red Bull,
driven.
Red Bull, Red Bull, eat, sleep, breathe Red Bull. And Charles
right.
is like, I can have a life outside of work. All right, Carlos. Carlos is so he's a Virgo sun, a Cancer moon. He is very much mommy vibes. Cancer is the mother of the zodiac, especially if it's in the moon. It's comfortable there. It can excel there. I think he probably takes on a lot of emotional baggage from other people, like drivers or just people in his life. He's able to help them sort through that. He's got a Libra Venus, which means Libra's super happy in Venus. Like, that's where it thrives. So that means, Ash and I were talking, he's a CLB.
He's a lover
He's
boy.
a lover boy.
No, he's not
He's
a
not a
certified
certified
lover
lover
boy.
boy.
He's like, I'm Mr. Lover Man.
Yeah. Yeah, he's like a little cheeky guy. But he has a Cancer Mars, so he's going to victim blame you until the end of time.
Hey, this is generalization.
Yeah, this is...
So we don't know for sure.
This is generalization, speculation, but at the same time, this is as good as this is as good as a guess as we have at this point.
Damn.
You know?
He does give mommy energy.
So him and Charles are kind of like little floaty, happy, like cherubs. With drive, don't get me wrong, but that's why kind of Red Bull's seen as more, I don't know, I don't want to say malicious, but like, you know what I mean?
Man.
Yeah.
Also,
man.
I feel like Carlos having a Libra rising,
Yeah.
like, so charming.
Makes him so, like, wispy and freaking
That's why he's so
beautiful.
gorgeous.
Yeah.
What is the secret to his hair? Does that have to lie in his chart?
Good question, because technically, I mean, Leo risings are supposed to be the ones with the good hair, but Libra risings are just overall, like, very beautiful, like, souls, people. Like, very, very popular among the rising signs, among most people. So, I'm not surprised that he is beautiful and he is a Libra rising. But yeah, I think they work well together. I think all the issues that are happening with Ferrari right now are probably not because of those two and more because of the works of everyone else.
Exactly.
So,
Moving on to Mercedes.
Oh, you want to talk about Lewis
Mercedes.
Hamilton?
Yeah.
Lewis Hamilton was born on January 7th.
That sounds like someone completely
1985.
different. Sorry.
Yeah, he was born in 1985, first of all. This man's old. Okay, Sun in Capricorn, Moon in Cancer, Mercury in Sagittarius, Venus in Pisces, Mars in Pisces. Okay, honestly, this is funny because the one thing that sticks out to me here is that Lewis Hamilton has a Venus in Pisces in the 5th house. So,
What does Pisces rule again?
yeah, so basically with every sign, they kind of rule a different area of the body. So, like, Capricorn rules the bones, and Aquarius rules the ankles. And what comes right after Aquarius and the ankles? The feet. And Lewis Hamilton has a foot fetish, and we will expose him right now.
Oh my god.
That was not what I was expecting you to say at all.
Suspectedly, because Venus is in Pisces, so the way he loves and shows affection, Pisces is dreamy, but Pisces is also your feet. So
You heard it here first, folks.
Lewis Hamilton has a foot fetish. Breaking news.
it's a bold accusation, but we don't know. Who knows, man?
Oh, you're so right that he's philosophical, though.
Yeah,
His Instagram stories every morning.
especially because he has so Sagittarius is like very philosophical, very associated with like different religions and stuff like that, like learning about that kind of thing. And the way that it's in his Mercury house, that means it's how he processes information and collects data and stuff and stores it in his brain, and then also how he outwardly communicates it in thoughts and ideas and just to other people. And so, yeah, he's a very, he's a preacher. And
We know.
yeah, if
His
anyone who
stories.
follows him on Instagram also knows that. And he's also a Scorpio rising, so suspectedly.
He looks like a Scorpio rising.
Yeah. It was also, I was reading, people think he's also a Taurus rising, which I could see for him too, but we'll go with Scorpio for now and just add on to the Max and Charles trend.
Right.
George Russell, from what you told me, is low-key a robot.
George Russell gives me absolutely nothing.
Oh.
Like, George Russell, okay, Aquarius and Sun, Libra Moon, Aquarius Mercury, Venus in Capricorn, Mars in Pisces. It gives a lot, but also not much is there. And we don't know his rising sign, because we don't know what time he was born, because you need that. My guess he's in Aquarius. He just doesn't seem like... I feel like he's somebody that you have to tell them what to do, and they'll do it great. But can you have a conversation with this man? Can he chat? Does he have good banter? Probably not.
Well, is Aquarius a fixed sign?
I think so.
Right?
Yeah.
So you can get it
That's a
done.
whole other thing. He'll get it done. I just don't think... I don't know if the initiation is there.
That makes sense.
You know?
That makes sense.
That's very interesting.
In terms of their dynamic, it's hard because I think Lewis sees the world so creatively. Like, everything he does is like, how can I creatively overtake Max? How can I creatively do this? But George is a lot more like logical,
Right.
and like I don't know. It's just different. They obviously think in very different ways, but they're making it work. Thank God for Toto. He's the string that ties them together.
Aston Martin.
Aston Martin. Okay.
In your French and your Quebecois accent.
Yeah.
Quebecois.
Speaking of who we're talking about next, we have Lance Stroll.
The way you change out of them so easily is so funny.
So Lance
1990.
is from he's born in 98.
Shucks, he's not even that
Montreal.
old.
Very cool spot. Scorpio Sun, Aquarius Moon, Scorpio Mercury, Scorpio Venus, Virgo Mars. This man is a Scorpio stellium. A stellium in astrology it's up to interpretation, but most people see it as 3 or more planets in a certain sign, so it's just a very like fixated energy. So he gives Scorpio, he looks like a Scorpio, he acts like a Scorpio. He's got a Virgo Mars, which is kind of a sleigh, because even though it's not like fiery, it's very much like he knows the route to take to get him to success. Like he's very grounded. He can walk all the way to where he needs to be and do it very level-headedly and also
I feel like we're seeing that.
very humbly, I feel.
He has. I feel like he gets so much hate because he's like a pay driver or whatever. You're just jealous that your dad won't buy you an F1 team because he loves you. So that's all the tea.
And at the end of the day, he's also like performing fairly well this year.
Yeah.
I also feel like he's humbly gotten to where he is today. Like, he didn't start off with the team his dad bought him. Not that that doesn't make him like a nepo baby, but like he was like a test driver for Williams for how long? He drove for Williams. He made his way to Aston Martin to where he is today. So that kind of makes sense with his Virgo Mars. Like,
I want to see him in the nepo baby tee.
I want Lance to wear a nepo baby shirt to the next race. If you hear this, Lance, please, I will buy it for you.
Pull
and I'll
up,
ship it
pull
to
up
your
your shirt.
house in Montreal.
Yeah. So, we don't know his rising sign, but it's either suspected Capricorn or Scorpio. So,
He so looks like a Scorpio.
yeah.
Those eyebrows.
He looks like a mafia leader, in my opinion. That's hot.
I feel
Don't
like
get
he's
me
been
wrong,
used
it's a
on
good thing.
Wattpad book covers without him knowing.
Exactly. If we were gonna assign book tropes, he'd be mafia leader.
Which we have, but we won't talk
I've
about
heard them.
let's talk about Fernando. Okay. Even older than Lewis is Fernando Alonso, but only by 4 years. That blows my mind.
That's crazy.
Anyways, Fernando's a Leo with a Cancer Moon, Cancer Mercury, Virgo Venus, and a Cancer Mars.
So does that make him Cancer?
He does have a Cancer stellium. Yeah, I
Oh my
didn't
gosh,
But then
know
he-
that.
catching on fast.
But then he also has
yeah.
3 Libras. So that
Libras.
has-
Oh, his Pluto's.
Yeah, so the planets kind of after that, just why I haven't talked about them, even though they're important, they change less often and they're generational planets. So, like,
okay.
when we were born, Uranus or Neptune was in Aquarius for like 7
What
years.
about
Well, we
mine?
have the same generational planets,
okay.
Mac and I.
My glasses.
You know what's funny? I'm an Aquarius and I'm an Aquarius rising, so Uranus rules my chart.
Your anus rules her chart.
But Mac
Yeah, it
and I have
does.
Mac and I have the same generational planets because I'm born at the start of the year. She was born at the end of 2002. So yours would be different from ours because I think it changes in 2003.
Yeah, they change. Yeah.
We just revealed our age,
One of
by the
them.
way. Yes, we're born in 03.
I'm just kidding.
Sorry, back to Alonso.
Yeah, back to Alonso. Okay, all the Cancer makes sense because he gives man baby, man child. Like, he gives. Like,
He's so baby girl.
he is so. No, he's so baby.
Period.
The
We're saying this about a grown man.
he's. Yeah. I got nothing against this man. I mean, he has suspected Virgo rising, which I disagree with. I feel like he's a Leo or a Cancer rising. Probably more Leo because he's so like, "Ah, look at me. Ah." But
Good impersonation.
thank you. I've been working on it. But him and Lance, like, yeah, Lance is definitely the more humble one, and Fernando's he's the star.
Do you think because Alonso has so much Cancer in his chart? I don't know what Lawrence Stroll's chart is, but obviously Lawrence is Lance's dad.
Yes.
And then Alonso has so much Cancer, which is like mommy energy, low key.
Oh, so Lance.
So do you think those are Lance's parents?
Oh my god,
Yeah,
maybe.
I would
He
argue
looks
for
like
that.
Lance's dad.
He does look like he's related to Lance, so maybe he's his mom.
Whoa.
Whoa.
This
We
could be
just
a
cracked the
scandal.
code.
What happens if Lance's IRL dad is Fernando Alonso?
It could be.
Don't let the people know.
Okay, wait.
What a
Yeah.
great situation to end up in, though, because he's getting the nepotism benefits of Lawrence Stroll when...
His real daddy.
Yeah.
The other nepotism aspect is from Alonso.
From Alonso. He's in a good spot. All right. Lando Norris. A lot to be said here. So, Lando is a Scorpio Sun, a Capricorn Moon, a Scorpio Mercury, a Libra Venus, and a Capricorn Mars. It's interesting because when I see a Capricorn Mars, it's great because Capricorn's like ambition. It's like Capricorn is the mountain goat, and kind of how Capricorn works is since it's so career focused, it climbs the mountain. It knows it's a marathon, not a sprint. And that's the kind of how the confidence manifests itself. So how the hell Lando has that kind of blows my mind because it's supposed to be quiet confidence, and this man is boastful. If there's anything we know about Lando Norris is that he likes to chat. But the Capricorn Moon, oy. That's a tough thing to experience.
Mm-hmm.
I sympathize with him. It makes him ambitious and independent, but it also, it's like very emotionally challenging in terms of just Capricorn's focuses aren't generally super like based on the emotions.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you put in an emotional sign, it's like, what do I do here?
What do I do?
Is that a TikTok sound?
Yeah.
That's so funny.
Well,
Lando's moon be like...
So he has a Capricorn rising, you said.
Yeah. Okay. So there's a suspected Capricorn rising. I'm sorry. This man is a Gemini rising.
That's what I was going to say. I'm like, if you like think he's actually Gemini rising, I feel like that kind of like contributes to maybe why he's kind of, I don't know.
Why he seems like a little kid squealing in a candy store.
Whoa. That was specific.
Those are fighting words.
Those are in the best way possible, Lando.
No, it's not.
Yeah. I don't know. He just gives very much outwardly confident, very much I'm the best. But like he says it in kind of like sarcastic ways, but we know he means it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Perfectly described.
Honestly, Oscar's his sidekick. Let's move on.
That's all you have to say about Oscar.
Oscar's a good guy. He's gonna have his moment. That's my prediction.
Yeah, I feel like because I didn't watch F3, F2, like even if you told me anything about his chart, I couldn't associate it with who he is because I don't really know anything about him.
Yeah. Well, he's got the Aries sun, the Virgo moon, Venus in Aries, Mars in Sagittarius. He'll have his moment, and he's a suspected
So,
Gemini rising.
He's fighting demons and fighting everyone else.
And fighting Lando. Jesus Christ.
It's a war.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Pierre. This is really interesting because all I know about Pierre Gasly is that I just think he's a cheeky little flirty French man who I'm really glad now also has a mustache to pair with his beard, but that's just a personal thing. He is an Aquarius sun, Virgo moon, Capricorn Mercury. First of all, Ash literally has all that. And then a Pisces Venus and Aquarius Mars. So
They're the same person.
even though Pierre likes to kiki, he is so intellectual and logical in which the ways he like gets information. Like that man will talk to everybody on the team, like all of the engineers, everybody, and he knows what he wants. He wants, his hyperfixation seems to be like he likes the drama.
We told you last episode he runs the F1 gossip.
Gossip.
Hall page.
Yeah.
It's
That's
him.
but don't get it twisted. Like this man isn't here to gossip. He's here to like
Collect information.
collect. Yeah.
And then
It's the Aquarius in him to
Yeah.
collect that information.
Ash and Pierre are the same person.
Honestly, I feel that way. Pierre, we are the same person. This is why we need to be besties.
I
I'm
agree,
telling you.
man. You two need to be locked in a room together for like 3 days.
Have your
And have a
mind studied.
conversation, yeah.
Yeah.
Mac on the other side of the glass
Yeah.
with a clipboard.
It'll be exactly one-sided glass.
We
you
won't
need
know.
to
We'll just be sitting there like talking, and you're gonna be like, Interesting.
Mm-hmm. Esteban, Mr. Squirrel.
We have the same birthday. September 17th.
Oh, T. That's crazy.
Whoa, you're like Pierre and I'm like Esteban.
Oh my
Are we
gosh.
Alfie?
Oh my god. Wait, that's weird, actually.
That's weird. Wait, what's your moon sign again?
Gemini.
Gemini.
Yeah, but
That's also
he's got
air.
a, yeah.
Air moon.
Oh my god.
Oh no.
I
That's
feel
crazy.
absolutely no ways about this man. He is so cute. He's got a little Virgo sun, a little Virgo moon, an itty bitty Virgo Mercury, and then a Cancer Venus and Mars. You know, just the way that he comes off. He's sweet. He's there to support.
Aw,
you know?
This just makes me want to pinch his little cheeks even more.
Yeah, honestly, this is a cheek pinching chart. Okay. Williams, Alex is a sweet baby cuddler with ambition because he's got an Aries sun, but the moon in Taurus, the Mercury in Pisces, the Venus in Taurus, and the Mars in Pisces. Oh, Lily's a lucky woman, is all I have to say.
Oh,
I love them
I
so
love that for
much.
Lily.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I love that woman. I love Alex. They're my actual, like, parents.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Logan
Oh shucks.
needs to find God. I'm just kidding. He's got a Capricorn
she's
sun
not.
in the 10th house, which is, as we've discussed with Max and Sir Drew and friggin' Charles and every other driver in this sport. Capricorn, but Logan, since it's in Capricorn and it's in the 10th house, Capricorn loves the 10th house. The 10th house is based off of Capricorn. And being in the sun, your self-worth, your ego, I think this man's going to get to the top. And that's all I have to say.
So you're saying he's a little bit of a max.
He's a bit of a Max, but like more level-headed. You know what I mean?
So is he kind of like Charles? Question mark.
No, because
No?
Charles also, like, Max has the Virgo, which is pretty good. But Logan has the Capricorn in the 10th house, and
Yeah.
that's just even more of an asset.
I feel like Charles lacks, like, driven placements in the 10th house. Whereas, like, Capricorn,
in the
in the
sun, in the 10th house.
and it's also Capricorn Mercury in the 10th,
10th
house. So
house.
he has two 10th house placements in
And
Capricorn.
that is because he is an Aries rising, so that's why he comes off very, like, fiery and, like, push forward, whatever.
Right.
But since he has an Aries rising, all of the planets, like, or all of the signs follow kind of almost exactly to the house that they're correlated with. So he's got a Venus in Aquarius in the 11th house. Aquarius loves the 11th house. He's got a Pisces moon in the 12th house. Pisces loves the 12th house. So,
So all
Damn.
of the
So he's
stars
lucky.
aligned for his birth.
yeah,
Jesus.
Aries risings, low-key, lucky
flex.
people. They also have square features. Would you say Logan Sargent has a square head?
Maybe it might be his haircut.
Yeah, I think it's
Yeah,
he's
it
a
gives
square
army.
jaw.
Yeah.
I feel a little bit. I don't know. Why is he kind of... Anyways.
Okay.
Why is he kind of scrumptious?
Okay.
Hey, Ash, all I'm
right.
saying is that if you think that now, just give him 5 years.
Oh, okay. He's going to get even more scrumptious.
Yeah. Okay, here's the Yuki tea. I have been holding this in
I'm scared.
for like 3 days with Ash now. Yeah, oh, wait, don't read
No,
it.
he's born in 2000?
Yeah, Yuki's a baby.
He's literally only 3 years older than us.
Yeah, Yuki's a little baby.
That man's 23.
He's gonna
Yuki,
be 23.
yo, let's be best friends.
He's 22.
please.
Are him and Oscar the same age?
No, Oscar's born in 2001.
Oh,
Whoa.
1 year.
Okay, now don't read this tea, Ash. Don't read this tea. So Yuki, our good friend Yuki, was born on May 11th, 2000 in Japan.
Oh, what month are we in?
In Kanagawa. Anyways, Yuki is on a team called AlphaTauri. Now, Yuki has his Sun in Taurus, his Mercury in Taurus, his Venus in Taurus, his Jupiter in Taurus, his Saturn in Taurus.
Jesus Christ.
And he drives for a team called AlphaTauri. Now, the Tauri from AlphaTauri, since they are a Red Bull affiliated team, is a bull. Taurus is a bull. Yuki was born and bred to drive for MF AlphaTauri. And that's all I have to
Oh
say.
my gosh. Also, that's terrifying.
Yeah.
That his birth chart.
And he has a Leo moon, which run
It
run
says
for
Leo,
the
Taurus,
hills.
Taurus, Gemini,
What
Taurus,
makes him
Taurus,
so-
Aquarius, Aquarius.
Honestly,
No, Taurus is sweet.
I know,
Taurus
but-
is, they can be sweet.
on the track he is very like,
Yeah, he's like so comfortable. And
but he swears
doesn't he
a lot
want
on
to
the
open
track.
like a
Yeah.
He wants to open a
restaurant?
restaurant.
And
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny because whether it's correct or not, Taurus often gets associated with like food and like comfort.
That's so true.
So it's interesting that
Coincidence? I think not.
He's he's bred to drive for AlphaTauri.
Damn.
Yuki is a perfect example of why astrology is real.
Yeah. That's mic drop. Suspected Leo or Virgo rising. I think he's Leo rising. Because he gives like
The maths.
Yeah, you know. He works well with Nick DeVries. La la la.
Nick's an Aquarius. I didn't know that.
Nick is an Aquarius. And
Also,
he's got a Taurus moon, so it works with all of Yuki's Taurus affiliations.
Nick is born in
Yeah.
Uitwellingerga.
Uitwellingerga in the Netherlands. It's an interesting name. I tried to spell that. I was like, I had to keep going back between boxes. Okay, Haas, Kevin Magnussen.
I was like, what are you laughing at? And I was like,
She's waiting for that one.
Mac has been calling Kevin Magnussen Kevin Magnussen for the past few days, and I actually cannot.
The funnier it gets. From now on, we'll only refer to him as that.
He's a king. Libra sun, Aquarius moon, Libra, yeah. I got no problem. Suspected Sag rising, so he looks like a horse. I
got that
agree. He kind of
magnificent.
reminds me of the horse from Tangled. You see it?
Oh my gosh, he looks exactly like the horse. from
Yeah.
Tangled.
What's his name again?
Max.
Maximus.
Yes.
Also, he's so much air. Oh my gosh.
He's an airy boy. Okay, but more concerningly is his teammate, coworker, Nico Hulkenberg, who reminds me of John Cena, WWE. Like, this man is all Leo. Sun
Who
and
else
Leo.
was all? Oh,
All
no,
Leo?
that was thinking of Yuki. My
Ah.
apologies.
He's a Leo Sun, Cancer Moon, Leo Mercury, Leo Venus, Leo Mars. So he's got 4 out of those 5 are in Leo. So I wrote, this is terrifying. The Cancer Moon is grasping at straws, and poor Kevin.
He has a Leo stellium. He has 4
4.
Leo placements.
A Leo Quadrillion.
Quadrillion.
You're so right. That Cancer Moon is grasping at straws. I feel so bad for his internal.
Yeah, conflict.
Yeah.
It's a suspected that he's a Libra rising, but I wrote, nah, F that. He's a Leo rising.
Oh my god, that's 5 Leos.
He has 1 water placement to put out that fire.
Yeah.
That's
So
it.
basically, imagine someone lit a building on fire and you gave him a bucket of water and said, get to work. This is his inner conflict.
That is Nico.
I remember when we were talking about, like, Mac and I always for fun, we have a grid in our apartment. Like a picture, like all of their faces on our walls so we can, like, know who's on what team, whatever, whenever silly season happens. And we'll, like, look at them and just assign them things sometimes. So we assigned them Brooke tropes. And Max said that Nico Hulkenberg would be, like, a WWE wrestler and you would get invited on stage and you guys would fall in love after he slams you into the ground, like, flips you over his shoulder and slams you into the ground.
Yeah.
That would be your origin story.
Well, his name's
That would be your
Nico
romance.
Hulk. Ember.
The Hulk.
He would throw you around like the Hulk, like
Yeah.
this.
Exactly. He grabbed you by your 2 feet and hit you against the concrete. That's
And
his
it
love
rhymes.
language.
So it has to be true.
Okay, let's talk about. This man is so cool. We don't even actually deserve to speak his name.
Oh my god.
Valtteri Bottas. So the way I like to look at this man is he is unbothered. You couldn't say. Let me think of a new word. You can say anything that would throw this man off. Like, he is ready. And how I was explaining it to Ash was I was like, oh, there's this club in Germany. I don't know what it's called. But basically, it's super hard to get into, and they, like, turn people away for the smallest reasons, and then they let people in for the weirdest reasons. And there's literally simulator games online you can play to practice trying to get into this club. And I think he runs it. This man is so, like, I just picture shades on.
You're so right.
Like, he's got a Virgo sun, he's got a Leo moon. Don't love a Leo moon, but he makes it work. Mercury in Libra, Venus in Libra, Mars in Virgo, and then he's got a Capricorn stellium in Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. He does not give one F.
No
I
F's
should.
forgiven.
And I respect him for that.
Oh, I love him.
Oh my gosh. That reminds me of when he was at Mercedes and he was like, I think he was going for like pole or something.
Oh.
And he was like, for everyone who thought I left, I never did. And he said like, F you.
Yeah.
And I was like, you are so slay, Valtteri. I love this man.
His
I'm
head's in the
other king.
game.
Yeah.
His head is in the game.
Especially with that new haircut.
Oh my
Especially
gosh.
with Zhou. Like, the
Love
two
that
of
man.
them Joe's Gemini, Sun, Sagittarius, Moon, Gemini, Mercury, Venus and Libra, Venus and Cancer, Mars and Libra. He's slay too. Like, they just really have a routine, stick to their routine, and don't let anyone throw them off. And that's the vibes they get.
That's exactly the vibes that Alpha Romeo gives.
Yeah.
I feel like I never really feel any ways about Alpha Romeo. I feel like I never even see them anywhere ever.
Because they're doing their own stuff.
They've got their own lives. They don't care about us.
Exactly.
They just, or anyone for that matter. They just focused in, wired in.
They're wired in.
They're wired always.
Wired
We don't
in.
know into what, but they're wired in.
Somewhere.
Valtteri's wired into the sauna.
Yeah, he's in the sauna. A good sauna sesh with Valtteri would be great.
Oh,
Yeah.
Can you imagine if you could
You're
interview
so
him in a
right.
sauna?
Oh my gosh.
That
Trademark
trademark that right now for yourself. A show,
We
sauna
take it.
interviews. Carpool karaoke, dead.
No,
it's
no, no.
sauna interviews.
Sauna interviews.
Speaking in the sauna.
Oh, yeah.
You can
Sipping
call it
tea-
stewing,
sipping tea in the
stewing in the sauna.
Stewing in the
Stewing
sauna.
It's
Like 2
trademarked.
little pieces of beef.
And Valtteri.
Valtteri.
Okay, I think the most important thing here, because now that we've talked about the drivers and kind of how they work together, or most of the drivers, we got to talk about some team principles. And the one I'm most concerned for everybody's health about is Christian Horner, because this man's birth chart is too toxic to be real. Like, actually, if I were to jokingly sit on the couch and make him a birth chart, I'd make this and then look at his actual one and it would be it. So Christian Horner is a Scorpio sun, a Leo moon. I get full body. Not to show any bias, everyone is beautiful in their own way, but a Scorpio Mercury, a Capricorn Venus, and an Aries Mars.
An Aries Mars is the most terrifying thing I could ever see in someone's birth chart.
Yeah, so Aries is Scorpio and Aries are super comfortable in Mars, but the difference is Aries is a fire sign and Scorpio is a water sign.
Mm-hmm.
So Scorpio is still going to use their intuition and emotional intelligence when they're putting forward their drive. Aries will burn down anything in its path,
Which he has done.
respectfully.
Well,
Which,
isn't Aries like the god of war?
yes, and Christian Horner is the modern day god of war.
What a line.
He's like, I actually want to, like, this chart freaks me the heck out. Yeah. All I can say, what really the reflection from this is the Leo moon. So, very prideful, confident, whatever. Pats himself on the back too often. And the Aries Mars. The Venus Capricorn's interesting too, but we can talk to his wife about that one.
Whoa.
Oh, okay. He has the same Venus placement as Checo.
Yeah, and George. So
Oh.
Poor Carmen.
I was about to say.
Poor Carola. Poor Ginger Spice.
poor Gingers.
Gingy.
So that's Christian Horner, and on the other side of the spectrum, we have Gunther.
Woo.
This man, he needs to teach. Like, I think he could just teach anyone anything. Like, he knows everything. He's got an Aries Sun, a Gemini Moon, an Aries Mercury, an Aries Venus, and a Virgo Mars. So also very, like, fiery energy, like, vankers, whatever he says.
We look like a whole bunch of wankers.
Yeah.
That was really good.
That you
She's
studied it.
really good.
But he's got that Gemini moon that helps him out in terms of, like, he's a chatty dude.
Yeah, he's a lot of Aries, and usually I'd find that terrifying. But
And he's got a Virgo Mars, so he's driven, like, down to earth wise. So he's gonna be fine. And honestly, they're kind of. It's funny that they've put him on a team that's, like, at the, like, not to say that he's Haas, right?
yeah, you can say it. It's fine.
Haas is, like, tier 2 or 3 in the
It's
team.
tier 3.
Tier 3.
It's okay.
It's the bottom. But they're kind of low-key, like, he could be. I vote Gunther for the next Ferrari
Team principal.
team principal.
Honestly,
I think he could do
one
well
thing
there.
I respect about him is that he will do anything for that PR and for that budget. He will do
Yeah.
anything to get that check, and I respect that.
Yeah. Anything?
Yeah.
Anything for Gene.
He said that he would F a driver.
He would F the whole paddock. What
yeah,
did he say?
yeah, he said
Wow.
He'd F the whole paddock.
for for a point or
To get to
something.
for-
Yeah.
To get a point. But I think he said hug, not
Okay.
F word,
So
but he has
if-
an accent, so.
So then what would he do to get to be the Ferrari team principal?
I don't want to know.
Yeah, that's between Gunther and his ambition.
Can we please talk about the wolves?
The Wolves.
The
Yeah.
wolves.
Toto and
Yeah.
Susie Wolf, power couple,
Woo!
power dynamic. He's got a Mars and Aries, she's got a Mars and Capricorn. Success. It's giving, literally, honestly, just power couple. Capricorn, he's got a Capricorn sun, she's got a Sagittarius sun. They mesh really well together. I was talking to Ash about this. He's a suspected Taurus rising, which. Okay, maybe, I guess. And she's suspected Aquarius rising. I could see that for her. But their children, what's his name? Jack? He's going to be a human weapon.
I mean, like the product of the two of them, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, like they've got a lot of expectations for their son, but they also know how to get him there. And he is going to be the next Lewis or Max or whatever, in whatever field he wants to pursue.
He'd kill it. Because, I mean, the two of them are...
Yeah, they're unstoppable. Like,
Nothing could take the two of them down. Oh,
that was
Girl
a match
boss.
made for the better.
Can we quickly go over Daniel Ricciardo? I'm so sorry.
Okay, so
Like,
Daniel Ricciardo is Ash and I's, honestly, just our households. He's our,
Princess Diana.
he makes our heart. This is why we get up in the morning every day.
Daniel, right?
So he's got a Cancer sun, super sweet, super kind. He's got a Gemini moon and a Gemini Mercury. Interesting Gemini Mercury. He's a very good communicator, and he's very much information storage based. He's got a Venus in Leo and a Mars in Leo, so his love language is words of affirmation.
Yes.
And honestly, he's got a suspected Libra rising, which makes a lot of sense because everybody who doesn't like Daniel Ricciardo, you'd have to be a monster.
So he's a Capricorn star.
He does have a Capricorn stellium in Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. So more generational planets.
And
but,
Gemini as well.
No, Gemini.
Gemini too.
Oh,
he's
he
got a
does.
Gemini Jupiter. So
Oh my gosh.
Damn.
He is. I love that man.
I could never say anything.
Yeah.
Exactly. He's sweetheart.
Yeah. Yeah. And he didn't deserve that.
And that's the tea.
And that's...
Oh, we should have looked at Zach Brown's birth chart. That man.
Ugh.
I actually don't want to know.
actually,
I don't want to know
Do you think
anything
it's
about
similar
him.
to, like...
Christian Horner? No.
Yeah.
I feel like Zach Brown's a little bit more sneaky about the way he acts instead of Christian Horner.
yeah, Christian Horner, he's a Scorpio, but that Leo moon will unveil all of his mysteries for him.
Anyways,
Wow.
that is the end of this episode. Thank you so much for watching and listening to us break down everyone's birth chart. Or, well, Mac breaking down everyone's birth chart.
Listening
Yeah.
to and get excited for Max to start breaking down when he takes some more else.
He actually did kick his car once when he DNF'd. So, and fun fact, he was wearing Liam Lawson's racing shoes because he forgot his. So Liam Lawson owns the shoes that Max Verstappen kicked his Red Bull with.
Wow. What a
We
great
should
pair of
sell
shoes.
them. We should
You
buy
should.
them, put them as a
We should
centerpiece
buy
for
them.
every
Yeah, you got like
episode.
$1 million.
Well,
Not
Mac,
yet.
soon. After this episode.
After we get famous and blow up and make all the money in the world.
Thank you so much for coming on the show today, Mac, and for
Thanks for
all of
having
your
me.
hard work and research, and for just showing us all this greatness. We really
Shedding some
appreciate it.
light.
Yeah.
And I'd like to know, even though we mainly focused on the challenges in their birth chart, there are a lot of great things. And astrology isn't just to point out what's wrong with people. It's just to show you what your strengths lie and where improvements can happen.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Thank you so much for streaming, watching, however you decide to watch this, interact with this. We will see you maybe next week or at an iffy part of our season. So we'll see.
We'll
maybe
let you
see you
know.
next week. We'll let you know.
Follow our socials.
Get updated with our socials. Follow us in Nitty Gritty. Links in bio on YouTube, Spotify. I don't know. You can't find it. Just search us. But we'll see you the next time that we get into the nitty gritty, whenever that is.
Bye.
Bye.